from NIP also doesn't really tick the box for me. I kind of get what they're going at with playing like IO Jug. They have healing. They want to group up and take fights, but
Yeah,
do
you
they
can force
have
the issue early on.
do they have what it takes to force a favorable fight? Is the question. I think this last pick that is probably going to be a Fata hero has quite a bit of work to do, and he's going to be picking into a blind matchup because this could be a position for Lina.
That's a lone druid. Well, they needed.
That's a push strat. Okay.
Yeah. They needed some early aggression. They needed something that gives them some control. So Savage Roar at least allows them some level of control against the Stampeding Virtus Pro.
Wait, what's Fata playing? Tiny?
I think Fata's playing the lone druid, man.
Nah, man, that's gotta be Ace.
Is it
Ace or
Ace
33.
on druid?
Yeah, I think it's a 33 lone druid. Is that a mid wisp?
You know what?
It might be a mid IO.
It's a mid IO. You're gonna run Tiny support and then put Fata on an IO, or like.
Okay, in order of likelihood.
That's a 5 lich then.
I think the most likely is Tiny mid. The second most likely is that Fata plays IO. I think that's more likely than him playing lone. He has 2 exceptional lone druid players in his team. 33's lone druid is really, really good.
I'm surprised you go that way. I think this is actually a 3-position Tiny, a 1-position Jug, and a 2-position druid, and they actually go very like alliance style in this.
But would you put Fata on the lone druid over 33 in this team? I don't think that's how they play.
Hey, I'm okay for them to put him on the Tiny if you want to do
Yeah,
that. Just maybe just different lanes.
I think they'll put mid Tiny. I think so. And then Lich is going to play with Jug, and oh, dude, I actually don't know what's going on.
Oh.
Okay, that is a bad matchup for both lone druid and Tiny. Okay, Fata, what are you going to play?
He's
yep, there it
33
is.
druid. No,
there it is.
Never doubt you, Sin. Never doubt you unless I doubt you.
How dare you question my knowledge?
Why is that?
I almost sounded like a villain from video game. Okay, so yeah, 33 lone.
What is this cosmetic?
Oh, you haven't seen that one?
Oh no, I haven't seen the face.
It's from one of the Immortal Treasures, I think. No, it's from the cache. It's from the Collector's Cache, I think.
It's just okay. It's a parrot.
No, it's great.
Caca.
It's great. That's a dope necro outfit.
See, like it can't be a necro light. It's like, you know what it reminds me of?
I was gonna say lineup, but that's not the word for what you're wearing.
It reminds me of the deformed bird from Full Metal Alchemist.
I have not watched that.
Okay.
So I don't.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't know.
Well, it's
I don't get that reference, Toby. But he looks like a bird.
The sun god Leto brought forth this bird.
That's the only thing this reminds me of from like anything is like in Egyptian mythology, is it Ra that's bird? Somebody's a bird.
Yeah,
he reminds me of that bird guy from Egypt. Okay. Don't remember exactly who it is. That's the best I got. Okay, I think it's pretty clear in this game what the teams are going for in terms of overall strategy. NIP has a very clear group up, try to push and fight lineup, and on the other side, VP have more of a, like, in a way, well-rounded laning lineup with good team fight and the global sounds to play around. And I gotta say, I love the last pick, Necrophos. No one plays a great Necrophos. He has good core matchup in this game. He's either gonna play against Lone Druid, which Lone Druid hates because the bear keeps taking damage from the aura, or he's gonna be playing against a mid Tiny who also hates that matchup because he is a high HP hero, so the Heartstopper aura, the more health you have, the more dangerous it is. So what it looks like NIP will be doing is putting 33 on mid, Lone Druid, and Tiny from Fata will go off lane.
Yes.
With the build.
So I'm fine with the people who's playing it, and I'm actually fine with the laning phase for how it's going to go down too.
I don't think this is a... 33's Lone Druid is very good, so I'm curious to see if he can draw or even win this lane, because Lone Druid is an exceptional laner. But this has got to be one of the worst matchups you've got, especially when Necrophos starts hitting those high levels in the Heartstopper aura. Might see something like a 1-1-3 build or even a 2-0-3 from the Necro. And just constantly hitting that bear. Just keep threatening the bear, and eventually it can't lane anymore. And that's when things get bad for Lone. If his bear can't lane, the hero sucks. It's just bad in lane then. It goes from good to bad.
It's like, hey, Io, can you come in and just heal up my bear for me instead?
Yeah.
Like, if that's the point you get to, you know it's a sad day.
And that's why that was something else we were very briefly touching on in the draft about this Lina pick when they picked it, VP. I was like, this is open-ended because it can be a 4. And that's exactly what they did. So they're like, okay, we have this Lina hero that can both be a support and a strong mid against almost anything. And if they pick a mid hero against Arlena, we put it support and we get a better matchup mid. So I really like the way VP kind of tailored their draft around always staying like one step ahead, kind of. If you can do that a second pick, you're in a really good spot in the draft because you know you have that trump card in the end. And it never, to me, felt like in the draft, the way it progressed, that that NIP were clearly ahead with their first pick. So I think VP are feeling very confident and happy about this. And now it's going to come down to, well, can NIP group up and get this ball rolling? Because that's what their lineup does, right? It's got to be some sort of an avalanche. No pun intended, by the way. If their lineup's going to win.
Hey, I'll take the pun. I'll take the pun. But yeah, it really does need to have some momentum for NIP to come, and like a lot of pressure then on Fada to make sure he actually has a half decent lane so you can get that blink dagger, you can be aggressive, and that's what VP is already looking to do. They move aggressively up, that means up on top lane. NIP look for their own fight, but into Parsha won't happen. So a straight 2-2 route.
Yep. And, well, safe lane Gyro Silencer is actually a beastly lane. That is really strong. Tiny is an interesting hero in lane because he has really high health but 0 armor. And what usually ends up happening with Tiny is once you start getting harassed down, in the start you feel really strong, right? Because you're like, oh man, I'm so tanky, I have so much health. But then you run out of regen. You're like, man, I'm so tanky, and then shit, I only get half my health bar from a salve.
Yeah.
So he needs this IO to sustain him very well. And you're going to see Solo get to business with the glaives. Non-stop going to be trying to trade here and start draining out their regen. He is just not going to give up. He'll just keep hitting him. Yeah, hit him again and again.
Yeah.
And then again.
And there's only so much regeneration the IO can give. It's like 1.7. Sure.
Yeah. And what the Silencer will eventually do is he'll run out of mana, and then he's probably going to go suicide to the tier 2 tower, come back with a full tank, and go again. Well, we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. Top lane, Lina Centaur. It's a weird situation where both heroes kind of want the other guy to set up, because Centaur can't really catch first, especially against Jugger.
Roger.
Want someone else set up. Oh,
yeah, with the spin from Ace, that's a lot of extra damage, and Roger's got the distance, but not the speed. Maybe he's got the life with the Fairy Fire. Yeah, Ace will break off. And that'll be a salve being burned by Roger.
Oh, he has a lot of regen on Lina. He went he had 9 Tango salve. Okay. And then he pulled the Tangos to mid, and then they have their own Tangos on Silencer. Ah, I like that. If one guy can buy 9 Tangos, and that guy pulls mid, think about how much this helps Solo in the dynamic, right? Usually the safe lane support in this situation starts with 4 Tangos, but Solo, either they gave 1 each, or Solo started with 6. And if he's playing this trading style Silencer, having that extra little bit of Tangos can actually go a long way. So it's cool. I like it, this game. It's very different. Last time I've seen somebody start with 9 Tangos in general, it's pretty rare.
Yeah.
So
the silence deepens.
We're into a different territory with the teams. This is
that's what you want to see from VP though. Like
chat wheel, boys.
Do you actually see the back and forth discussion? Like the first pause where VP's like, "Well, are you just pausing to mute us all?" Like, is that what you need at the moment?
What was that? I genuinely couldn't hear you over the sound. I'm not kidding.
Yeah,
I couldn't hear what you were saying.
That's all you hear.
I didn't know what you said. I don't know if that emphasized your point or whatever.
No, well, in a way it did. It's like us saying, like VP were mocking, like Ramses was saying, like, "Hey NIP, you're gonna mute us," like kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, I would. So.
Everyone be muted in your game already. You're used to high tier Dota. Just hit that mute button. Communication's not important.
No, it's. I mean, the voice lines can get to you in games. Like at TI, you saw in the documentary, right? The True Sight that LGD were muting. They were muting OG because it was too much, you know. So it's a mental game.
But how do we know when they call GG?
Yeah. So 33 was off to a good start in mid, but now no one is catching up, and he's starting to get more points. He actually took 2 in Death Pulse. A bit surprised by that. I thought he was going to go 2 in Aura. But maybe secures CS more reliably with this extra 50 damage of the Death Pulse, and now even gonna find the region. How nice.
Yeah, he didn't even need much of it. He's sitting at half of his mana pool. My god, this game's definitely got a lot of issues. It looks like to begin with, it was Fada who was having some problems. Now we're still sticking down the bottom lane.
Can I take a bite out of my crunchy bar?
You, no, Sin. No. You're banned from food.
Damn it.
Just wait for the next person who's going to come in here and cast, and there's just like crumbs all over this pristine mouse pad.
I'll clean up. Don't worry, I'm on it.
I'm sure. All right, we'll go to stream 4 at the end for the last series of today. And we'll just go in there, and there's gonna be like cans everywhere. It's like, who was in here? Who was in here?
Clean up after yourselves, kids.
Hey,
and adults.
You know what you actually need? Like sometimes you need like those sanitary wipes. Where during Epicenter, like I came up to cast after Owen had been casting, and I just put the headset on, and it didn't even touch my face, but there was this spray that just came from the mic flicking slightly. It's just like
that's that's slightly disgusting. Actually,
yeah,
it's quite disgusting.
It's quite disgusting. It is. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I've seen some clips of OD casting, and saliva for everybody.
Yeah.
So that's
if you ever
enough to go around.
If you ever get a chance to get anywhere near a caster's desk after you've had like Owen casting, Cap does it as well, where they primarily cast off the program screen. Just look a little to the side and across it with a little bit of light, and you'll see just how much like spit spray.
So what would you rather have?
there.
Would you rather have the oats from the crunchy bar or the saliva, Toby? If you could choose.
I would have the oats from the crunchy
There
bar.
you go.
This is not a hard choice.
There you go.
That's such an obvious choice. No, I don't want someone else's saliva. Thank you
So
very
there
much.
you go. I'm safe then. Okay, back into the game.
Yeah.
We're back.
Unpause has happened. Thanks for our filler content. Sponsored to you by, well, a couple of spaced out characters on the NIV lineup.
Yeah, this it's a relatively quiet laning stage so far. I don't think it's too surprising how this is going. The Juggernaut Lich lane is having a good time against these heroes that are very spell reliant, so Jugger is good against that. The Lone Druid has a bit of a head start against Necro, but he's probably going to get overtaken eventually. Looks like it's going to be a draw for now, but you would imagine when this Heartstop aura is actually causing big problems for the bear. Has to resummon here. Let's look at how much damage it deals, right? You see that? It's like, it's about 50 DPS on the bear right now.
I've watched top lane though, Roger. Faster Silk Stomp's able to buy him a little bit of space, same with stick charges. We're watching bears tick.
Looks like Ramses will get flasked by Solo. What's the region status bottom? Io has a salve left and Tiny bought a bottle. So they both want bottle, actually, in this bottom lane. That's a lot of bottle. And a very little bit of stats. 0 to be exact.
All right.
I'm not sure I'm a big fan of this. If they both go bottle, I kind of... I feel like maybe Tiny can buy this bottle and then just give it to the IO, and they play the lane.
My God, 33 is actually going to lose his bear.
Is it dying? It's okay. It's okay.
No. Pull it up.
Recall TP'd out.
Yeah. Anything to stop the death pulse from connecting.
I think, so without knowing too much about this matchup right now, I think Lone Druid has 1 minute right now, or 30 seconds, to play super aggro on this Necro and try to kill him. If Necro skills Ghost Shroud level 5, he will not die to the Lone. If he goes for the Aura on level 5, he is killable. And what 33 needs to do is he needs to pull the bear back, level it up so it gets the Entangle, and then he needs to play super hard on the Necro. Currently, no one is saving his skill point. He actually went 3 in Death Pulse. Okay. I feel like he's killable, especially with any rotation. Let's see what he does here. So 33 is going for it a bit here. Good damage.
Oh my God, he's actually getting so much damage in.
If he gets another root, he dies here.
Oh, no one runs up the hill. Where's that root? Where's that chance? Lena's going to go down in the meantime. Roger up on the top lane. Underneath the tower, still no root. 33 just can't get anything. The Death Pulse connects. And with the creep wave, he's just taken so much damage. But the rest of NIP still did its work up on top. So it's been a matter of time before Roger will be pushed out of the lane.
Yep.
But now the battle for the 5-minute runes will begin.
Bottom lane homing missile. It's a bit early.
And you see a lot of life coming in from the IOE salving up. And with the toss, throw him around. Fada just wants a little bit of extra space to get back. Sasa's going to try and also tank up as much as he can, but cannot save Fada's life. And this is going to be another +2. 4 in total for Silencer.
That Curse of the Silent ruined Tiny there. He had to toss, and he extended the curse with that. I think he was cursed before he avalanched on the rune as well, and they end up both dying, like you said. +4 int for Silencer. Very nice from Solo here. I think the choice to go 2-1 build in this case is perfect. you're more or less guaranteed to get double curses non-stop against IO Tiny, and they are both very spell reliant, so you know you're going to extend that curse for the extra damage. So nicely done. Yeah, mid lane. I feel like no one got lucky. I actually feel like he flat out got lucky there and probably should have died. And it's one of those moments where after you die, you're like, man, I definitely should have got 1 point Ghost Shroud. But since he got away with it, he got away with it, and that's good news for him.
Yep. And when you force 33 back into the jungle, because he had to resummon again, he has to play around this cooldown time. But what does that style do? He's already smoked. Oh,
Style.
Hey, that's the wrong one. Solo smoked up with 4 observer wards. They're planning in for the vision. Roger up on top, slowed down, just TPs away to safety. Knows he got enough life to do that. And in fact, he only TPs out towards the tower, so they can turn around, come in, and now Solo has arrived. You get the curse out, they're chasing down Ace, isolating PPD instead. It's all a +2, it doesn't matter which one it goes. And you can't slow him down enough. Maybe a denial from the neutrals? Yes, it will!
That was pretty sexy.
Yeah, that's, yeah, alright, sure, you'll take it.
He still gets the int, though.
He does. Why does that work that way?
It's an aura. If a hero dies in range, you get the int. It's working as intended. That's what it says on the skill. Oh, it says any hero that dies within 925 range.
So it still removes it. Like, so everyone could die to Roshan, and they would go -2 and you go +2.
Yeah. It's flat out just if the hero dies in range of silence.
They're going up to no one. Mr. No Point Ghost Shroud just never gets entangled by 33.
I don't know if I'm missing something here, but I feel like a 4-0-2 build is strange. I think maxing aura against Lone is good, and I think getting 1 point Ghost Shroud against Lone is also good. Maybe this is just for flat out faster lane push, so you can get runes.
Keep the pressure on the
This was not the skill build I was expecting out of this lane. Oh, he's reaping the bear. Nice play. Oh, 33 so good at Lone Druid, dude.
Well, Aya's going to go down. Punch is going to try and complete his TP out of the top lane, but PPD pulls him back in with the Sinister Gaze, the pass shot, and the stick charges and the double brace is still not enough to keep him alive. And Roger, Line Strike Array, Ace, just easy dodges.
I hope we can get a replay of that Reaper Scythe mid, so I can explain what happened there.
I was watching it, so I think we can.
It's a bit counterintuitive, unless you know the hero very well what is happening here, but there's some pretty cool things you can do with Lone Druid, so I hope we get a replay of that and explain it when it happens. Okay, top rune, Illusion. Looks like 33 is going to grab that on his hero, and the rest of the map looks relatively quiet for now. So, oh, maybe not? Yeah, maybe it is.
Yeah, we're good for now, unless Fada wants to ever played at Ramses, who is low and there is no support for him at the moment. Silence is making his way back over, so yeah.
Okay.
No, it's quiet. It's quiet enough.
Yeah. I'm assuming we're not going to get a replay. That's fine. Okay, so basically what you can do as Lone Druid is you can save a skill point in Summon Spirit Bear, and then when you level it up, it teleports, or it resets, kind of. So what he did was, while the bear was getting killed by Reaper Scythe, he leveled it up, and then he resummoned it too. So it got out of the Reaper Scythe stun, and he resummoned the bear so it didn't get killed by the Reaper Scythe ulti. So very, very specific scenario, which will not happen again this game because he can't level it up like that again. But that was a nice play coming out from 33. I do believe it worked like that. He didn't lose the bear.
Well, goes this out. Is Tiny, who's in trouble on the bottom lane. Ramses puts the cooldown down, so Fada can't just walk away. And maybe with a little extra regeneration from the IO? No, even then, still not enough.
I love Gyro, man. Enjoy your nap! I should maybe leave that voice to Slacks. He's probably better at it.
I don't. You're pretty close, man. You're pretty close.
Oh, that's nice of you.
Yeah, but Gyro does need to have that sort of grating level to their voice that Slacks has.
Look at the Lone Druid Bear mid, how much damage it's taking here from the wave and the aura. This is while it has Spirit Link and the Mask of Madness running. So you imagine without those two things, the bear is just, you're going to see the DPS coming in now.
The bear just runs over. So I don't care. I need to check this. I need to pull the creep wave up.
Yeah.
Oh, Sinister Gaze. Ramses is all right. Well, if you want to fight, we'll fight. Homing Missile will protect PPD, and Ace doesn't want anything to do with this just yet. It's the 10-minute bounty runes they really want to get. No one's moving over, so he can't get the top rune, but man, that Death Pulse hits hard. And Ace just wants to spin himself away to safety.
Yep. No one was faking out the Reaper Scythe, hoping to bait the spin earlier, but Ace didn't fall for it. Got away. Bit of damage mid. This is something you will see the really strong teams do. They are very, very good at defending their mid tower quickly. And no one... He let the bear hit that mid tower once with DD, instant glyph TP and save it. Don't want to lose that out. Let's see if he goes to try to Reaper this bear. Probably soon.
Oh, toss back. Fada. Yeah, he's got him. No, he doesn't. I thought he was going to drag him all the way back to the Ire. The Tuxer was a little bit too far away.
Yeah, Roger is fine.
Man, 33 really doesn't care about hitting into Necro. Take out the catapult. Take out every other creep.
I think this is a player who has really good knowledge of the matchup, the way 33 is playing this. So there's a lot of details going into this that he's doing. Oh, are we going to see the Reaper here? I think we are. That's the replay we have right now. So notice the bear. It's going to get Reapered now. He now levels it up, summons it back to himself, and resummons the bear.
Can we actually watch that one again in as slow motion as we can? We're going to have some time because they're going to need to change out a PC,
So
it seems.
when the bear is taking damage...
Oh, we have a different one here.
Okay.
This is the Sinister Gaze play up on top.
That one is easier to explain. He got hit and died. That was that kill. Okay, so when the bear takes damage for 3 seconds, hero-based damage, it can't be recalled by alone, right? So what the Necrophos did, when he hits the bear now, it's not recallable. But when you level up the bear, it resets. So what you're going to see now is he's going to hit the bear with the Death Pulse, and now Reaper it. So now it can't be recalled. You see it's on cooldown on the Spirit Bear right now, 2 seconds. But by skilling it up, the bear resets. It resets its cooldowns. That's also why if you get an Entangle on level 3 bear, you can level up the bear to level 4 and reset the Entangle cooldowns. You can get 2 in a row. You've seen Bulldog do that, for example, in the past. And the logic is the same on this resummon for the bear. So basically, he totally reset his unit, saved it. And it might seem like a minor thing, but saving a bear is huge. If that bear dies to Reaper Scythe, it's the same as killing Lone Druid. It gives 300 golden experience. It's a massive advantage for no one to get that kill. So, yeah, it's just great display of this hero. And Lone Druid is one of those heroes where you can really tell if a guy's an expert. There's so many small things, like knowing things like that. It's one thing to know it, it's another one to do it in the heat of the moment. His knowledge of the matchup right now, I'm very impressed by how 33 is approaching this lane, because I know it's hard for Lone. What he's doing is he's pulling the wave away from Necrophos some of the time so the bear doesn't get hit by the aura. And now that he has both this Mask of Madness and Spirit Link, he goes and farms the creep wave only when these two are up, because then he can out-heal the aura. And the moment they go on cooldown, he runs away with the bear again.
And this is what you want to see 33 play this year.
Yes. And I mean, I can't say for sure, but I will tell you with a very high probability that Fata would not be doing all of these things, just because it's a special. It's an expert hero the way it gets played by 33. It's a specialty.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of things. One more thing I want to mention about the cooldowns is that Spirit Link has a 22-second cooldown on level 4, and the Mask of Madness has a cooldown of also 22 seconds. So they overlap perfectly, and conveniently enough, that cooldown is lower than the respawn of a creep wave. So he can farm the creep wave every time these are up, back off, maybe farm a little bit of jungle, and then come back and do it again. So really nice. I mean, that was a lot of detail about one hero, but you know, it's the kind of thing that's kind of cool when you get to see it in detail like this. Because if you go in your own games and you're like, man, I just saw 33 play against Necrophos as Lone Druid. It wasn't a problem. I'll just pick Lone Druid into Necro. And then you get dumpstered. You're like, what happened? And all of these things are why he's tied. He's ahead by 200 gold. It's a draw, basically. And that's serious. That's it. That's all these things. So excellent stuff from him. Yeah. The rest of the game, or the rest of the map, has been a little bit more self-explanatory what's going on. You know, heroes casting spells. We saw the kill with the Jugger on Centaur. Yeah. Could explain that in detail too. Jugger hit and then took damage. Died.
Thanks, Ender. And you know, sometimes the hardest thing for an analyst is not just explain the most. I just breathe. It's like, okay, you really see the difference in the levels. Yeah.
Oh man, this voice line. Who thought that was a good idea?
There's a lot of things, which like. You actually just make like a second voice line wheel. I have. Whoop, hang on. Oh, that's right. I had to change my binding, so I have a console on my voice wheel now. What a sad thing.
Oh, wow. You know what I just noticed?
What?
When you click through these players, a lot of them have really high-level battle passes, right? And you know
Yeah.
how you get shovels?
Mm-hmm.
And when you have a high-level battle pass, you have a lot of shovels.
Yeah.
Roger has used all of his multiple hundred shovels. He's level 2500 battle pass, and he has 0 shovels left.
My God.
For comparison, the Necrophil still has over 300. Ramses almost has 500.
There's 9
And
on,
Pasha
9 on
has like
Solar.
400. Use your shovels. You might dig up a Roshan.
Maybe-
What are you waiting for?
Maybe this is a support thing. Like the cores are always doing something, and the supports sometimes just have to wait.
No, the
They've
support.
always got shovel time.
The supports are like, wow, I can get something in the game. That's it. They're like, wow, I can get something that has value. Because when I play the game, I don't get things that have value. The
Oh, come
cores
on.
get things that have value.
I think as far as the support's life goes, like there's been so many things to make their lives easier.
Absolutely.
Like ward costing, couriers, like the amount you get back from
It is
wards for
true.
killing it, the double tomes which are out as well, which for some reason we're seeing. Actually, no, it's because it got delivered. Like the IO is holding it.
Yeah,
There you go, level 6 up, and we're restarted
we
up.
are back.
Back.
Okay, so let's have a look at items. Lone Druid looks, or sorry, Necrophos looks to be building in toward early Greaves. At least the mech is coming up. That's his first item after Mono Boots on the Necrophos. Did do 1 value bracer, I think, on the way. Yep, he did. It's coming out in Courier. Pasha is going Hood, double bracer on Centaur. And for the Gyrocopter, it's the Axe Rush that we've seen quite a lot. On the other side, for Chorus, Jugger looks to be going Mantle first item. Lone Druid wants to go for Mask Commander's Radiance, and Tiny with the Treads into Blink. So nothing too surprising overall. Debatable whether going for the mech first on Necro is the right choice here. I think it's good. But there are definitely other options that he could have pursued. You see the bear pull again here in mid.
It feels like it makes a lot of sense when VP want to be the aggressors. Like if you're like they're moving towards a good Aghanim's timing over on Ramses, having the mech push down the lanes nice and fast. Because they've got the extra burst damage that can come in from their support by running Roger on that leaner.
It's also about just being able to match NIP's tempo, right? When you look at that draft and you know they're going to come at you as 5, you want to have that wall where you can be like, well, if you guys are going to come with us, we can stand and fight. That's why I like the mech here. But you know, in other games on Necrophos, you will see other build-ups. Maybe you will go for like a Hood on the way as value. You would get maybe a movement item like Force Staff. Sometimes we see Radiance. No one especially has liked going Radiance in the past, but this time around it seems to be the auras that he is prioritizing. I think you could make a case for Radiance too in this game, to be honest, but I like this more this time around. Okay, is he going to try to kill the bear? That was kind of in kill range, I think.
I just love it. He uses the Death Pulse to actually make it so that the bear can't get the instant last hit on the creep. Instead he gets the denial on the range creep thanks to the Death Pulse.
Yeah, maybe that's why he maxed it out to get denies. It's possible. He's got a good amount.
Just to mess with him. Fada, stampede forward. Pasha has to run through all the pebbles. There's a toss up, but it's right on top of Ramses, who keeps with the Rocket Barrage going. And Tiny, how much life you've got? Damage reduction PPD arrives. And Fada back to the trees.
That was a very late cooldown from Ramses. I think he mistimed that a little bit. If the second missile hits on that cooldown, maybe they can pursue, but like this they can't. Mid tower goes to 33. He manages to take the tower once again, has not lost a bear to Necro.
Just keeps the
Gonna
pull
retreat
up.
to the jungle. To me, this is the standout individual performance of the game so far has been watching mid for me. It's always cool to see stuff like this. It's world class Lone Druid play. I've praised him enough now, haven't I?
Yeah. I think it's time to move on. But you had a good 5-10 minutes worth of downtime during the pauses. So it's like, hey, if you would.
It was very convenient that in these pauses there was some cool detail to actually dig into that took 2 minutes like that. That was convenient. Very good. Great pick, NIP. Good job.
Yeah.
Let's praise PPD for picking Lone Druid for this.
I'd like to give a shout out to everyone who was involved. It's longer than a speech, no one. And that's high movement speed thanks to the haste room, but he can't get through his own damn creep wave to chase the Juggernaut into the trees. That was definitely not part of the plan. Fada has a Blink Dagger as well, which is sitting over in the tree line. They're trying to keep it secret. So now PPD as well as Fada, they're able to smoke up.
Yep, there comes the move. This is a good timing for them. No real mid move to be made though. The tower's already gone, so
The
perhaps
move is
they're gonna,
top.
they might cross the entire map. And
33 is actually
unfortunately-
leaving. He's heading down south because he still wants to keep farming up the Radiance. He doesn't want to fight.
You know, I love this play from NIP. It's just too late. They could have maybe fought for their tower and then got the bounties.
Oh, they got
and like this, they only get to fight for the bounties. It's still good. That's
avalanche
a silencer.
toss combination. Solo's already down very quickly.
Didn't know about the dagger.
So both bounty runes on bottom lane go the way of NIP.
3 for 1.
Yeah, surprise dagger.
That's good. Yeah, if they're 10 or 20 seconds earlier on that, they maybe even fight for their tower. Maybe they get a core kill and then still get the runes, but it's still a good move. Absolutely.
And they still want to try and fight. Obviously, no one with the mech, but 33 is adding some pressure on bottom lane. So if VP want to go for something, they'll have to push it hard. And the tier 1 tower in mid lane, that's the easiest target.
There's the relic for long.
He still wants to finish the Radiance before he joins the fights, and that's why VP need to push this. Take the tier 1 tower in the window available, Fada. You can get a toss back, but there's no one really there to work with. PPD's coming up through the rear. Tries to shield the tower. The Juggernaut's not looking to fight. Now the first TP does begin in from the Juggernaut. Fada, the tower, it does go the way of Ramses. And Haze, it feels like he's just arrived a little too late.
Yeah,
33's obviously done the work on bottom lane, but...
That's not a good TP. They seem to either indecisive or it's just a bad call from Ace too. I don't think there's any value in showing up here after the tower's down to farm this wave. He could have farmed something else. His teammates were already there, so maybe a little bit of
maybe he needed to move to the secret shop to pick up the mana style.
Yeah, then you might as well port to the triangle, right, and farm that.
Yeah.
Let your teammates take mid, and then you can take your item. But perhaps this is better because IO takes the jungle. I don't know. It's a minor thing anyway. It's not too big of a deal.
PPD is such a long way down. Like, he's not doing that without like having some extra vision, and Artstyle knows it. I think PPD's looking for his own little battle to get rid of that.
Maybe Artstyle knows it too, but then it's because he's watching the stream.
I mean, Solo.
Dude, it's actually... Why would they do this? Why is his nickname Artstyle as a sponsor, and Ramses' nickname is Afro Ninja as a sponsor? Like, come on, dude.
Yeah. It's not like it was like their former coaches. Anyway. Put my jet lag brain back into gear again.
Get back in the game.
Yeah, come on, Troy Bolton it.
It's just been a relatively quiet game. Like
it really has.
This is not VP-esque. That is not a classic VP game. 4 kills in 17 minutes for VP.
It's like, hey, they're getting back. They're looking to push it a little bit faster. No, Greaves is now completed. Now they're looking to
well, they did push mid. NP just didn't want to fight.
Yep.
So I mean, it's very quiet. Pretty strategic game so far, though, with the things we have pointed out. And the question is now, when it comes to transitioning into the later portion of the mid game, like, do you think the Lone Druid can do enough? Like, that's my question, because he has a lot of weight on his shoulders, but he also has a terrible matchup against this Necrophos still. Like, even if you're farmed, your bear doesn't like this. It just flat out doesn't like this. And maybe we'll see him go for... I'm not sure what route he's going to take, if he can just maximize damage so that the lifesteal can sustain the bear, or if there's a different way of solving this problem. Yeah. But for now, it's a relatively even game, and everybody's farming. So
I think NIP are just hoping they can go and have a crack at Roshan. Like the bear with can go through it pretty damn quickly. Now Gyrocopter putting the fresh Aghanim Scepter to work. Fada can't blink away quickly from this. There's your tether over from Io to give the extra life. Stampede Ramses is not wanting to give up on this. In fact, they just kill up the Io. Now the Global Silence is finally used. And PPD on the run back out. Can't run fast enough.
Sorry, VP. I know I said you weren't doing stuff. There you go. Let's go. They got the Ags on the Gyro. This seems to be what they were waiting for. It makes Gyro so much stronger. And he's just able to go in and get these kills. Nice call down from Ramses, by the way. Clipped both heroes on the edge, both the Io and the Tiny.
Oh my god. That damage from the bear.
He knows there's no Reaper, so he's not scared.
Yeah. It's just the fact it takes, what was that, 6 hits to take the tower down 50%-ish?
Yeah. That's something Lone's pretty good at. Face boots on the bear. Coming up.
Everything's just simmering down for the moment.
So no one's going to go for the Death Pulse heal talent. Sometimes you'll see this Ghost Shroud talent as well, which I think has its merits in this game. It's really good against the Lone Druid Bear. It's nice against Tiny after he jumps in to combo somebody. If you catch him in that Ghost Shroud, it's a really strong slow. But he is valuing the full sustain route, maxing out the Death Pulse first like we saw earlier, maxing out or taking the Death Pulse talent now, really looking to just keep his team alive as long as possible.
33 just try and burn down the wave. If you can wait just a little longer, you can get the last hits out, but instead it's all going to get denied up. But PPD, they find the better target. Centaur, still 2200 HP to get through. And they didn't have the extra control. Need the toss back to come into a sinister gaze, but it didn't happen.
Were they hoping to bait Stampede or something? I mean, that kill's actually impossible. If all their spells hit, he still doesn't die. It's a 2200 HP Centaur with Pipe.
Oh, Necro's actually TP'd in behind them too. No one's just going to walk straight over towards the Io, hit him with a Death Pulse. Tethers over towards the bear. Now no one tossed up. Ghost Shroud, but the Lich ulti bounces around. They hold him and they kill him. Now the Stampede comes from Pasha, but he was trying to wait until no one was free. Now relocate, coming towards the front lines. Hoof stomp off, catching out on two. Global Silence is out. Now NIP. What have you got as a return? There isn't really anything. The Spirit Bear was in so deep with the Io. Maybe it's almost time to back up, but they don't want to do it. Avalanche is out again, combining with the Omnislash into the back lines. Afro, they've all just tanked it. Bloody Ramses, he's just killed them off. Back to the tier 2 tower. Laguna Blade not enough to kill off Ace, as the tower will fall to Ace. But Lich, PPD will lose his life as well.
Oh, they got greedy, Toby. They got greedy. That was so good for NIP until they start diving the tower. They got a free kill on Necro. That tower is theirs, but they feel like, man, we can get more. We can dive this. No Necro. Let's reload in. But they're relocating into some serious counterplay here. Call down, the stomp from the Centaur, and this fight just... They are not happy even though they got the tower now, because they feel like this should have gone way better for them. And the whole thing that sets it off is that no one feels like he's invincible, and he isn't. He learned a lesson there. Maybe he didn't account for the Sinister Gaze, especially with PPD leveling it up over the Frost Blast. It's 1-4-3 build. It was a long gaze onto no one there, and yeah, they could burst him down before he got saved by the Centaur Stampede. I don't think we'll be seeing him making that mistake again. Let's see what he itemizes. He is going the Radiance after Greaves, so will be Radiance once again for no one like he usually does on the Necrophos, just a little bit delayed.
Just bring in that teamfight element that his team desperately needs. Got another rune available, which they're going to try and save up for the Eye, which is regeneration.
The Radiance is also health against Lone Druid. All of his damage is based on attacks, so the mischance gives you EHP. It's not that good against Jugger though, and not that good against Tiny, but mainly for the damage aspect, it is still a good item this game.
How do you actually like even itemize against like the Tiny's burst damage?
You're by a hood. He has one bracer. You could, but they have a pipe on Centaur, right? So I don't think he wants to go too far down that route. Something like a Yule's is actually an interesting choice in this game. It could counter out the Omnislash, it can counter out the Root from the Bear, and you can Yule during Avalanche. So the Tiny has to blink toss you and then Avalanche to get the combo, and yeah, the moment you land from the toss you can still Yule off the remaining of the damage and then go Shroud. I wouldn't feel bad about him going that item either, but it's less ambitious. And in this game, the way the tempo has gone so far, I think Radiance is the best choice just because, you know, it's kind of slow. Why not? Why not just farm up and get big?
Yeah, 14 kills in 23 minutes. It's pretty damn slow.
And you gotta wonder, like, how NIP gonna win this game, right? How are they gonna end it? They've taken this bottom tower. The next step, they have to get an Aegis, right?
Yeah.
Aegis on Jugger. And then they have to push high ground. They're not going to be able to find pickoffs that will lead them into a high ground push, most likely.
It feels like they just need to win a full-out team fight. Like,
yeah, that is hard, man. Into Necro and a Pipe Centaur?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's more pressure on Fada to get that initiation off. Like, if he's able to burst down the silencer, I think this game gets a lot more interesting for them. If they can remove Global Silence and Solo is caught without his buyback, then things get very interesting. But if they don't do that, then Necro just goes ham. And the gyrocopter, like Ramsey's having space to do damage, he's building into BKB next.
Yeah, exactly. We haven't talked that much about the gyro, but Ramses is obviously going to reach a stage when, with this BKB, he's kind of...
Oh, they get the jump. They found 33 over in the jungle. Light Striker 8 connects over on 2. Fire tries to create a little bit more space, tether over, and they have enough regeneration, especially underneath the shrine. The bear will be lost, but they really wanted to find that kill. Virtus Pro, but NIP deny them.
I think they could have globaled that and got the kill, but maybe they thought they wouldn't need it. But like you said, they still kill a bear, so it's still a victory. Killing a bear is good. It's like killing a support, basically, at this point.
But with the... that sound effect is so fun on the IO.
A little bit of split push. You'll see IOs do this regularly now compared to what they used to because of the lower cooldown and relocate, especially when you get level 2 and level 3. It's It's available a lot of the time. Old reload cooldown was much higher.
Well, looks like Virtus Pro making a maneuver up towards the top is just for the 25-minute bounding runes, but it'll still be an easy 2-2 trade-off. NIP just stacking up and trying to get that extra money into the Juggernaut. He's going to go straight in from Mjolnir after having that Mad Style. Just needs the Hyperstone.
He's got enough.
I think the recipes, yeah, recipes coming on the courier. And PPD, that's aggressive. That's
Enemy spotted.
enemy down. No one TP's out. The tree lines up on the top. Peace finishes Radiance 25 minutes in. But I think PPD was most definitely on a ward mission.
There is one item this game for NIP that could do a lot, and that's a nullifier on Ace. I don't know if he can buy it next, but it is, of course, it's a counter to Ghost Shroud if you use it after the Shroud. It's a way of preventing the Jara from getting off the inevitable BKB. If they get the jump, he can Omnislash and nullifier him in that Omnislash and maybe kill him off. Yeah, so I think that's an interesting item to consider on Jugger here. He's also one of the heroes that uses it best because of his building crit, so the damage component of the nullifier is better for this hero than most. But he does seem to be going a basher route, which has its own merits too. Like bashing the Gyro and BKB is nice. It's maybe a way of getting on top of the Necro and surprising him with that little bit of extra. But we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, with the bonus attack speed, he's able to pick up, and like the attack rate he's already going at.
Yeah.
Made us hope for a lockdown. NIP are making their way over through the bottom. And there's so many sentry wards committed to the Radiant jungle from them. They want to ensure there is no vision, while Virtus Pro, they're going to smoke up. The line's being drawn to move into the Dire jungle. They're going to see the Io in mid lanes. That may be the easiest pick-off for them, but wrapping around the back, 33's bare. Farda's waiting for his own moment, but the Io is already dead. A tree toss reveals it on the other side of the river, but Ace is just pushing the bottom lane in as fast as he possibly can. Now they can turn around for their own fight. Io can buy back and relocate in. I think that's exactly what PPD thought was going to happen with the Spirit Bear.
This is awkward.
PPD is now also trapping himself in the tree lines. Hoof stomp down. Pasha starts over on the Juggernaut. Doesn't feel like there's a fight to be had. Starts with a spin out.
Reaper.
With the TP, but Reaper Scythe cancels the TP and an Ace. Nothing more he could do apart from die.
That ward from Solo, just that little bit that it sees down here, just this little bit in the bottom, actually gave them vision of the Jugger so the Centaur could get the stomp off. There. This one little line straight down. Just saw just that little bit of vision, and they get the blink stomp on the Jugger, and that's what eventually allows them to catch up with the Necrophos. So, nice kill from VP, and they are stabilizing this game. Oh, that's a convenient rune to get on Necrophos. These illusions are so strong. Radiance and Heartstopper. Look at him farm the jungle with these boys. Let's go. Maybe you want to leave one there? Roger's like, dude, farm?
This is not efficiency.
That's really not efficiency. Especially not if you get them. Oh, dude. No, I just got them both killed. No one's been playing a pretty good game overall. That was not so good. And his death earlier was also not so good. But apart from that,
Looks like it's PPD's turn to get caught out once again. Virtus Pro. Hoping for an initiation. I actually don't remember seeing a Chain Frost yet.
They used it to kill the Necro, but it didn't jump to anyone. But they needed the burst on Necro.
Oh yeah, so that one hit that they got from it.
Yeah.
PPD's trying to battle in the tree lines, but his own Observer Ward down. They'll be quickly dewatered, and PPD will lose his life.
He's battling with life.
Another +2 and 16
and he won.
intel going the way of Silencer. Getting dumber by the minute. That'll be a tier 2 tower to go the way of Virtus Pro. As you're saying, with that side gun around, he's actually a really good tower hitter. And they're coming up. We're not even 30 minutes in. 33's waiting. The bottom tier 3 tower is being attacked. The top tier 2 tower is being pressured in, but Virtus Pro don't care if they can claim this tier 3.
There's no Lone Druid Bear bottom. If the Bear was bottom, they had to go back. But it's not threatening when it's on defense. Jugger pushes so much slower, and they take a good chunk out of that tower.
And Jugger takes so long to get there. Look, he's spin TPing back right now.
Are they going to smoke here? Their hero constellation here kind of looks like they don't have a smoke. They just got all their heroes forced back, and now they have to weave out back into the map. That feels really bad. When you get all your heroes back into the base, you basically get reset. You lose control of where you're playing aggressively on the map, and you kind of give over initiative to the enemy team. And what this is going to give VP is going to give them time to stack. It's going to give them 2 bounty runes top, and they could even be Roshing right now.
Yep.
Fortunately, their lineup isn't very good at it. But if they had a Rosh lineup, that would have been a dead Rosh, what NIP just did.
It seems like both teams are very wary about going anywhere near Roshan. Because if they go in there and then that fight goes sour for them, like if it goes bad for Virtus Pro, then Lone Druid pushes you.
Yep.
Forces multiple buybacks, you're in a bad position for the game. And if NIP lose it, then Gyrocopter will push. So will Necro, so will Lina. They can clear out these ways very quickly. So NIP needs some level of strong initiation. But it's difficult. Up against Stampede, up against a Blink piping, stampeding Centaur. Gyrocopter's got his own BKB. No one's now got a completed Lotus Orb on himself.
Yep.
All these items start to add up.
Lotus is a good way of removing Entangle. There's some cool stuff to reflect too. Omnislash, Chainfrost. Omnislashing Necro is actually pretty scary. He has a Radiance and an Aura while he's Omnislashing your team. So, yeah. I like it. I think it's a good choice. And now he's going to go Heart. I think that is the perfect item in this game now. There's nothing better to buy. Just beef up. You're hard to kill. You have high armor. Heart gives you super good EHP. You don't really need that much magic resistance because you have the pipe in your team, and if spells stacking starts being a thing from NIP, you just Global Silence and stay alive.
And NIP really just want a target that isn't no one. Anything but him.
Yep.
Like, Fada's been in range so many times where he could just blink forward and get the toss back out. That's what VP's that's what they're counting on.
They're chilling. Ramses is farming. So.
Yep. I saw Cuirass done for Lone Druid.
See, a build here on Gyro that's not so common right now is to go with the Manta style after the BKB Maelstrom and Ags, but he is buying it because of 2 reasons. First of all, it's good against the Entangle. And secondly, this gives him a way of dealing with Jugger. When Jugger Omnislashes him, he can Manta and spread the Manta out, and then he has a very good chance of completely countering that spell, and that's huge. In this matchup, there's nothing that really kills Gyro except the Omnislash. That's what he really needs to worry about, and this is a great way of solving it. It also makes the Nullifier even better. I think at this point it is actually a required tool to win the game. That's where we're at now for NIP. He needs this item. And looks like he's finishing Butter first.
Your next items which are going to arrive are actually the Aghanim Scepters. Like, the Aya's almost completed his, and Lina's almost completed hers.
Yep. Io Axe is good here. Lina Axe, pretty good too. You can use it in the Jugger spin. So
Centaur. Woo, Pasha. Right in front of PPD. Not quite certain what he was looking to bait out. But these lanes are pushing in far enough that maybe now NIP feel like they can get away with Roshan, and Virtus Pro is hot in their tail. Well, NIP are going all the way back. Enough posturing around. The funny thing is, every single time they move forward or they move slightly back on bottom lane, they always got scouted out by this Observer Ward in the bottom river. It just saw so much movement. And now there's a fresh one from Virtus Pro protecting their closer area of the bottom jungle. So if NIP aren't pushing this, they know it's the northern fight, it's Roshan. One of the 2.
Yep. And they can't kill no one. They're going to jump him with Tiny and they're going to global. And then he will stay alive.
And no one's the only one who's been presenting
yeah,
himself.
it's this kind of awkward. I don't even want to call it a game of cat and mouse because the mouse is there. Like, but you can't kill it. It's a mouse with armor.
Okay, no one's been trying to bait himself in mid lane for so damn long that if he just starts doing solo Roshan, maybe this is the biggest bait. Hey guys, like, are you finally gonna do something about me? Pasha comes in, Ramses comes in, and NIP have a choice.
It's a clear lineup limitation, right, that we're seeing from NIP in this game. There's something missing. If they can't execute their push, they get into this awkward spot where there's nothing. I personally feel like playing Dota like this is so hard. Like when you feel like there's nothing happening and the move doesn't present itself. It's just not there. they kind of have to keep playing for this farm. They have to keep hitting some sort of key item that they can fight with. The Ags on Io is a really big DPS boost, for sure. It's great against Necrophos, too. But it's VP totally dictating the tempo of the game. If NIP can't push out lanes and go and hit towers, their lineup can't force anything. And that is tricky right now for them to work on.
It's like we're farming for what purpose?
Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like. I mean, it's another thing if they had like superior late game. You're just like, man, we got to fight NIP right now, but I don't think VP feels threatened. I think they're okay. We have a Lina scaling into late game as a support. We have a Centaur who's getting super big. Our Necrophos is like extreme scaling.
No one. This is the first time he's been far enough away from the rest of his team. You've got the Chain Frost. He's going to bounce back over towards no one. He's so low on life, but that's why he just Ghost Shrouds and one's back up again. Solo has gone down thanks to the Omni-Slashing Juggernaut, but the lockdown control directly after ensures his ace's death. So a 1-for-1 trade-off, but it's support for core.
Yeah. The moment they went to no one, they just global silence. He stays alive,
and look at VP go mid.
Bad trade.
Like, they still have Aegis to the Immortal. You want to force at least the buyback out in the Juggernaut, but you'll take the tier 3 tower too.
Yeah, and what NIP will hope to do here is to push out bottom to the tier 3 tower, but they're too far away. So it's a defense call here, and they can't hold this base without their Jugger. There's not enough in the tank. The healing from no one is too strong. Like these IO spirits.
They found Pasha a little bit too deep, but that's not the one they really want. Here comes your Reaper Sign down. Vada barely able to survive through all of this, but the call down will put him down. 33 spare, still trying to do his work, looking for an entangle, looking for something. He'll get Light Strike a raid. Lacuna Blade's already back up from Roger.
Sasa
is just doing so much work because you've just got the Io giving all the life it possibly can.
Okay, if you tether a bear and you have healing ward, that's a lot of health. It was healing a couple of 100 per second, actually.
I like how we're now at the point where you also relocate the bear in order to get a little bit of extra push from the Radiants.
I mean, I was going to say it's a small victory for NIP, but they actually got nothing. They didn't get a kill. They lost their tower. The only victory is that they didn't lose barracks, but
yeah, but
they didn't.
You still had the buyback on Ace.
Yeah, and they didn't get rid of the Aegis. There's still 2 minutes and a bit left on this Aegis, so I think VP are just going to make their next move and be like, okay, I mean, now there's no buyback on the Jugger. They could wait out the Reaper Scythe and go again.
The Reaper Scythe still got another about a minute. But NIP are on the hunt. Coming in towards the jungle, Ramses will be the one who will walk into him. PPD puts down the observe board. Ace already into the spin very early on. 33 will catch no one in the back lines, but he just shrouds up. And now Pasha initiating over on the side. And maybe now Juggernaut, yup, he's in trouble. It's going to be 33 to die inside the river. Roger's last attack will do the work at Afo. And Ramses keeps the pressure over on NIP, forcing them further and further back, but Virtus Pro, they're surrounding in from the east too. Where is the retreat? They're pushed back into Helm's Deep, so NIP, they just TP out Ramses. Can't find the kill in time.
Ramses basically zoned like 2 or 3 heroes there with his Aegis. He ran at the Jugger with, he put a homing missile on him, and the spin expired before the missile connected, and then he tried to Manta dodge it, but mistimed that. So he kept the Jugger out of that fight the whole time, and that gives them a nice and easy kill on the Lone Druid. It gives them a Shrine, gives them good aggressive potential here. Probably the top tier 2 tower will fall here too. It seems pretty inevitable. Pasha stacking up some Retaliate. Thank you very much, Mr. Tower. Very helpful. It's using the opportunity to dig up some battle points. Bang the drum.
Sure, you don't need to attack buildings at all. Ace is still going to have to keep that pressure on bottom lane. Always get Virtus Pro to look behind themselves.
It's the one avenue of attack they have, is this bottom lane. It's the only place on the map that NIP poses a threat. So they have to keep playing on it to buy themselves time and items. But Jugger still has way of a way to go here.
Yeah.
Butterfly is about to be complete, and then I think it has to be that Nullifier, but it still doesn't feel good to buy it because you're like super low health with this build. You can get the health talent on 25 and go Nully. I think that's the best.
It still also doesn't feel like he's going to wait to really reposition. He needs like Blink Dagger and the Nullifier to make it work. It's like, who do you jump on? And Butterflies arrived at the same time. The second one's for the Gyrocopter.
There are plays. You could Blink Toss into the Jugger, for example, and then he can Nullify while the hero's in the air.
He can maybe catch them by surprise by coming out of the tree line or out of smoke. You know, there are plays.
They need a second. The Aegis, the Immortal is going to break, but it's 5-on-5. Pasha moves over. The smoke breaks on Fada. BKB timings for the 40-minute bounty runes. Ramses and Roger. Here's your Avalanche. Toss hit in from behind, combining with the Chain Frost, but they're also split up. The Chain Frost won't bounce with the Global Silence. Omnislash kicks in, but Ramses just using the Mana Stone to tank through so much with the spin too, but Ramses, he doesn't care. Fada will end up going down. Io is brought back, relocates in. He needs to get the extra life over towards the Juggernaut. It will be enough to help him survive the Reaper Scythe and get 2 more hits out, but he'll still end up going down. Fada, what else have you got? Enough to kill off no one. That'll do the job. The relocate out will end up helping the Io to survive, but the buybacks are coming thick and fast. NIP, their sustain is just way too good. Say goodbye to Fada. 3 heroes down without buybacks available. They'll push through the bottom towers, and Virtus Pro, they look unstoppable.
Yeah, this is... Yeah, I actually don't know how they stop this. They have 2 supports alive. Sure, Io has got a lot of damage, but the sustain of VP is still there. You don't have the Necro, but you have Urn, you have Pipe, you have the Crimson coming on off cooldown again, and Lina poses a serious kill threat with the Centaur. They could just jump and blow up any of these supports right now, and it's minimum 2 lanes of racks. It could be 3, or they could flat out end the game. If they knew there's no buybacks, they could go straight for GG here, but...
Be safe about it all.
Taking the racks on the way.
This is Virtus Pro just making sure that everything is above board. And the Io is relocating out to try and get some level of counter push.
GG.
It is. It's GG. Virtus Pro, solid performance. NIP, as you said, man, it feels odd in the draft, like just how they were meant to play it out. There was